Hey everyone, welcome to Smash Trivia. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia to follow everything happening with me. I'll be the one with the big old green head in the profile picture. So excited to get into this. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, in this series, I'm gonna review everything Hulk, all the movies, TV shows, and I also do random other geeky films. Occasionally, not so geeky ones too. And I also like to mix things up once in a while by not reviewing anything. Hope you enjoy Smash Trivia Presents The Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening if they can please do something for me. Please share the hell of this podcast with all your friends. If you don't, Hulk will be angry. Now that we have all that important stuff out of the way, let's smash right into this episode. Hello, my Gamma friends. Today, I'm gonna review Once Upon a Deadpool, which is a version of Deadpool 2. A PG-13 version, that is framed with a Princess Bride. Framing. And I'm reviewing this with Keith. How you doing, Keith?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, man? It's
I'm
been a
doing
long
good.
time. I'm gonna say man five more times.
And also Matt Trivia John. How you doing, and man?
I'm all right, man. How you doing? It's been a little bit about the same time as Keith, I think, possibly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh
I'm gonna bring it down a notch. Oh boy.
So, so what did you guys think of the Once Upon a Deadpool version of Deadpool 2?
Keith, you lead.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought that I was gonna be the Deborah Downer of this episode because I was like watching it and going, "Where's all my favorite parts?" Like I was like I really enjoy when Deadpool can be done in an R rating, but I get the appeal. I understood the humor. Fred Savage is so fucking funny in these scenes that they've added, and the callbacks to Princess Bride, the callbacks to him being kind of in the behind the scenes role he has in Hollywood. I'm so glad that you could see a very good chemistry between the two of them. I don't know that it makes much sense to bring under 13 or PG-13. I don't think it makes much sense that this is targeted to a younger audience, because why would they have seen the Princess Bride and know words like opine and stuff like that? Like, they're not dumbing any of it down, and it's like, okay, well, he's still allowed to make a lot of cum jokes, so what exactly are we taking out? And it's like just the hard R violence, and that's pretty much all that's missing here, and then a bunch of funny scenes with Fred Savage. So I enjoyed the shit out of it, but the point of it I did not quite see.
So, basically, the Fox, they wanted to have a PG-13 version of it, but Ryan decided to do this PG-13 version because it was going to because they were going to be, for every ticket sold, $1 out of the ticket would be going owing to fuck cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And so
and because of that, he decided to do it. And this version of the film ended up making $51 million. So $1 out of each of those tickets definitely adds up.
Okay, well, I will change my opinion of it right now, now that I know that, because there's enough new stuff in it to make me laugh and make me want to go see it again in theaters. I love the original enough that this it wasn't the same thing in that regard. So yeah, hell yeah. And raising money for cancer, or to fight cancer, you know what I mean. Yeah, fuck cancer.
Mm-hmm. But like, the reason I love this film, it's not like because I think Deadpool needs to be PG-13 or something. I think I love his R-rated films, but I just think the addition of this Princess Bride framing and Fred Savage is just so funny. And it makes it to be my favorite version of Deadpool 2 because of that. And also I love that it's that it's making it's donating money to for cancer research.
Yeah, and I'll say one more thing in the positive before hearing John's thoughts is I think that if he can do this when asked to do a PG version and it be this fucking funny, then I put it all on Ryan Reynolds' shoulders as if he wrote every single line, but I know he didn't. But clearly they know what they're doing, and whether they have to do PG or have to do R one day, like they can write something funny for him regardless, which I like.
So for me, I still prefer the original. I can't say that I don't. I noticed all the missing blood. I noticed all the missing severed body parts. I noticed how much different the scenes were like after he got ripped in half. They were just almost completely unrecognizable in some instances. I did find the way they censored stuff to be absolutely hysterical. Uh, when it comes to Fred Savage, I will never not be able to quote the line, "You're Marvel licensed by Fox." It's like Nickelback. It's still music, but it sucks. And I love that line so much. Not because I think Nickelback sucks all that much, but it's just funny how meta that joke is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they don't actually have it in the final film, but in one of the trailers for the for Once Upon a Deadpool, they actually have that scene continuing where Deadpool is like how dare you insult Nickelback, and then they both start singing a Nickelback song together.
This is how you remind me.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see that now.
It's a cute trailer.
Oh, my favorite moment of the extra moments it makes me laugh every time is the fight Matt Damon one.
Yes. Oh my god, yeah.
I
Yeah,
still don't know where the fuck Matt Damon is in this movie.
Oh, you don't? He's the hillbilly guy that Cable sees at the
He
beginning.
was the one on the
So
left.
he's the fat one. He's the fat one because the skinny
Because
one's
the guy
Alan
on the
Tudyk.
right's Alan Tudyk. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't recognize Matt Damon. What the fuck? He was the left one.
Yeah.
The one saying that you're gonna want to get a what the hell is it? The wipes, the wet wipes as your main course, and then like that was a really funny little conversation between the two of them. But I did not know that was Matt Damon. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's some
Damn.
Colin Farrell level penguin makeup shit going on.
Yeah. And Alan Tudyk, I already know, plays hillbillies well after seeing him do
Tucker and Dale.
Yeah, Tucker and Dale versus Evil is so fucking good. But no, that was a good setup to have him come in strong with the whole like the beep bleep button and then have it used so brilliantly. And then at the end him be like, wait, what have you been saying? I said I want to fight Matt Damon. Why didn't you say that? He's like
I thought you said you wanted to fuck him.
it's like, no, of course not. Like that was really clever. Yeah.
One thing about it that I do wish they did to make use of their PG-13 rating is, as Deadpool said at the beginning, that they are allowed to have one F word. So I think they should have had at the end and when Colossus says fuck, they should have left that uncensored and let that be 100%. The one F word in the film.
What did they use the F word?
No,
somewhere else?
No, they didn't. They didn't use it at all.
It and then not use it. That is it not in some cutout scene that they didn't? It seems like a real misstep.
So I have a thought on that because in the movie it does acknowledge that Disney bought Fox. So I'm thinking that with that Ryan Reynolds challenged himself to make sure the word fuck was not used for the sake of to show Disney we can still make this a great movie. We don't have to say that word.
Yeah.
So I think there was a little bit of undertone to that there.
And I think he did a great job, as he said, of showing that he can do a PG-13 Deadpool film and make it still be good. And like,
I'm saying that with the caveat of having already seen the R-rated version of this and knowing that both exist and that is the better world that I would like to live in. if they had to do a PG-13 only with Deadpool and Wolverine, I'd be mad. But
I understand that. I understand that. But I'm just saying, if they had to do a PG-13 main film from scratch, he would still find a way to make it absolutely hilarious.
very true.
Also, though, something I do want to bring
absolutely, no question.
up that I think is a really interesting thing is, people act like Deadpool movies need to be R-rated, as if that's something out of the comics, but it's really not. The comics are nothing compared to what's in the movies, and I like them. I like them better R-rated. But I'm just saying, it's not actually this thing out of the comics that's making them absolutely have to be R-rated.
You're
No,
absolutely
you're
right.
right.
The fact that they did, like I said, that they have cum jokes in this movie. It blew my mind that they had as many cum jokes as they did with a fucking PG-13. But then I was like, okay, you know what? I grew up watching PG-13 movies probably before I was 13, and that shit, yeah, no, that tracks. Yeah, a lot of American Pie movies were probably only
Yeah.
PG-13.
Like,
Yeah, but it's just the hardcore violence that gets cut, and it's straight. It's funny to me that hardcore violence compared to, I don't know, softcore violence, you want to call it that,
Keith,
yeah,
really
cut
quick, I
out.
must interrupt you. American Pie was rated R.
Oh, what was it rated in Canada? What the hell is our Canadian rating system? I gotta look that up. Maybe I saw a lot of rated R movies as a kid. I don't know.
I mean, and again, and there are films from the 80s that are rated PG and have tits in them.
Yep.
That's very true.
That was
very well covered with patience.
very frequently happening.
Man, I gotta find a Canadian movie rating system. But yeah,
every one of them is rated R.
All right, well, not the greatest cum joke example I could think of, but yeah, I was just
I mean,
surprised at what they could get away with, even in PG-13.
And a pretty apt example that's not R-rated, very definitely not R-rated, that has a cum joke, and also is a fourth wall breaking character. It's the She-Hulk TV show. There was a cum joke in there.
Yep.
Right after
Captain America fucks. I mean,
right after the night with Daredevil.
Right.
She says that she came.
Damn. Wow. Women's liberation. Hell yeah. The one thing I'll say too is the ratings that I remember seeing as a kid. Of course, your guys' ratings in the States were always more commercially popular. That's what we would see on TV commercials and stuff. But 18A was a thing for a time instead of R. We didn't have R. We had 18A, and I don't know what the distinction is, but I think they did get rid of it, and we now have this almost identical ratings as you guys. So I don't know. I don't know why we didn't just cut through that and do that earlier.
I forget that it's called the MPAA. So
yeah,
we have the Motion Picture Association of America. So I think that
they just probably added an N for North, and then it all just makes sense still.
Movie ratings will always be a funny movie rating, and all just ratings in general will always be a funny thing to me because it really does us kind of feel to me like the people who rate these things don't actually care about what's in the film. It's just what they want to decide, because sometimes there'll be things that are PG-13 that have absolutely things you would expect to be only in our rating, like the nudity in Titanic, for example. It's example they and then you also like so if I'm very interesting is like also with the with comparing TV ratings to movie ratings.
Oh my God.
The like a TVPG and TV-14 basically seem the exact same to me.
So does TVMA. Like TVMA
Yeah.
and TV-14 doesn't really seem much of a stretch to me.
They like more so in the streaming era they've the TV-14s feels like TVMA, but like when back when things were on regular TV, it was seemed like the same in TV PG and TV 14. It was like and it's crazy that it was crazy to me because like TV 14 you'd think is a more mature rating than PG 13, but you could absolutely get away with more in a PG 13 film than a TV 14 show on network TV.
It's strange because if you break it down, it's because the parents will be there to guide them. That's all I can imagine. That their argument would be, oh well, TV MA 14 or whatever. You don't need your parents for that, but parental guidance before the age of 13. Yeah, they could explain all the cum jokes. Because that's who you want explaining that is your parents.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Part of the birds and the bees conversation involves movie ratings and TV ratings.
When a man and a woman, or you know what, lots of people, when they love each other, they'll put their cum in Colossus's hand soap. That's what
have sex with a soap dispenser.
I am bush. Question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Was the 2-second scene of Colossus doing burpees on the X-Lawn in the original? Because that was fucking hilarious and I don't remember it at all.
I don't remember.
I know that TV doing exercise.
I have you seen the Super Duper cut?
Ooh, I don't know, man. Probably not.
Because there's a lot of scenes that are in this that are also in the Super Duper cut, but are not in the original cut.
How much longer is the Super Duper cut compared to the original?
10 minutes.
Yeah, that's okay.
10 minutes longer.
That does that. Yep, I bet.
I would have timed it super duper longer.
Because I know I'd seen.
That doesn't sound like enough for Super and Duper. That's crazy.
I know I'd seen
a Duper cut,
in that scene of Colossus before seeing this film, but I don't remember whether it was in the Super Duper cut or in the original.
Another thing I really loved about this version was Fred Savage being so, and it's probably I'm biased because I'm going to be cosplaying as Cable for the big Toronto Fan Expo.
Ooh, spoiler.
In August. Yeah. I hope I do it justice because I have finally a couple people who have an interest in the photos. But no, I'm going to be cosplaying as Cable, and when Fred Savage was a huge Cable know-it-all in that moment of being like, oh, you guys he's related to these people. You guys are going to do a nuanced backstory of his. It's really due, and then just Deadpool's like, yeah, we got the time travel. He just brings up the book. I really like that part. That made me laugh.
Him bringing up fridging Vanessa too was fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Like Mufasa. Yeah, just you got it. Yep, that's what I meant. Agreed.
Oh man, I think it makes it. I think it makes it more okay that they did the fridging Vanessa thing and because of them making the joke, because of them making the jokes about and making a point to say, yeah, this is an outdated trope that should not really be a thing anymore.
Well, that's the meta thing about Deadpool. Like, he acknowledges the things that he do not being necessarily PC, and like the whole pump the hate brakes line that he uses on stuff like that. Yeah. It's just, I love the way that he makes those kind of connections into things like that otherwise would probably cause problems. Like, he gets away with it because I believe he identifies as non-binary or something to that effect.
I don't know. I don't know if
oh no, it's pansexual. Pansexual.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I like that his character has such a depth to it that, I mean, you can see that he like in the comics, he loves death, literally the personification.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Death happens to be a female, but it's skeleton. So I guess it doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just, I like the stuff like that. I like that his character is much more diverse and unique for more reasons than the layered, murderous, bloodbath movie character that we all know.
And I think that's one of the things that was not a thing in the original comics. And I mean, and what I mean by that is, when Rob Liefeld created the character, he was nothing like what we know today. He was literally just basically a Deathstroke ripoff off
Mhm.
back then versus it was like 5 years or so after he his runs of the character or where he actually started gaining the fun side and started becoming a three-dimensional character.
And I'm
Yeah.
glad that it evolved that way into the point where people are looking at, I'm sure people would mistakenly say, "Oh, Deadpool's always been like that." It's like, no, characters can evolve,
Yeah.
and we can get the best versions of them on the big screen. That's
Mhm.
what we need, is for them to become fully realized and different from the stuff we've seen before, and then they get their own movies. That's more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. The the part where you talk about, like, we were talking about earlier, the part where he says, we are Marvel, and like, no, you're Fox. Like, the two Deadpools question, the fact
Yeah.
that fans could be writing in things since the Deadpool movie came out, since the second movie came out, and then Ryan Reynolds gets to, like, address those questions and all the online shit that people bring up. I'm sure they get to be even more meta and be like, okay, well, he was ripped in half, is there another Deadpool? I think we should address that. And then, like, this is why I prefer Marvel. We are Marvel. No, you're
Oh
not.
yeah. So good.
Yeah, I enjoy
It's
it. I
great.
enjoy
It
the
is great.
layer upon layer of meta writing. That's good.
Oh yeah, it's great. He's like, and then there's the scene when Brad Pitt is revealed to be Vanisher, and then he's like, how did you get Brad Pitt to be in this? He's like,
Not
well,
you.
how did I
Oh,
get you to be in this?
It's like
he's so,
it's like Shawshank down there.
and
Celine
Matt
Dion,
Damon.
Brad Pitt, and Matt Damon.
Wait,
Yeah.
Matt Damon's in this too? Where?
Oh man, it,
I
And then
find
at
it
the end
funny
of that
too, though.
whole thing about him, like, wanting to fight slash fuck Matt Damon, and then at the end he's like, "Oh, I thought you were saying you wanted to fuck Matt Damon." No, that's crazy. Why did he ask about me? Like, Fred Savage was here to play. I
oh
really,
man,
I
it's
really appreciated that.
I find it funny that in this version he mentions how Celine Dion's in the basement, but Celine Dion's music was basically cut from the fucking movie. All it was
Mhm.
notably just the instrumental bits for a
Oh,
couple bits there, and I was like, wait a minute,
yeah,
you took away the whole intro scene. You took
yeah,
away everything about Celine Dion. Why is she in his basement now?
yeah. True. The two biggest things I think I was missing, and I think it was probably because it was so early on, is the 9 to 5 montage where he's just shooting up all sorts of gangs in the
Oh,
beginning. That whole thing being missing from this, I was like, I get it. It's one of the most violent parts, and it's like the hook sentence of an essay, and be like, okay, you're really gonna like this because we're gonna make it more R than it ever was before, and they gotta lose all that. It's like, okay, I understand. But then that fucking James Bond opening with Celine Dion was, I was really missing that in this version of it.
yeah,
It's like, if a kid with their parents can enjoy a Princess Bride reference, they should be able to enjoy a James Bond reference.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially a clean one. There was nothing dirty about that intro.
There wasn't, not that much. If
Mhm.
there was something dirty, just cut around that. Put a name closer to the screen for that one part.
Focus on Deadpool's clothed ass.
Exactly. Instead of all
Oh,
those titties.
Yes.
so one thing I do wish with this is a sign that I didn't really feel this previous times watching it, but this time when watching this, I was like, I kind of wish there was more of these scenes of them cutting to him and Fred Savage and not because there are very large portions of the film where there's none of them.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like they gave it too much time in between, and it's like, if that's going to be your go-to through line for this movie, then you need to keep cutting back to it, and not just when you think you need to. I don't know how they decided how much to cut back, if it was all based on what was the most R-rated scenes we had to cut out. But it's like, you should have thrown more in there, and I was enjoying every time it would happen
It
after a
was
while. So
Yeah, oh, and another one that was great, and like you mentioned how they cutting away from RA stuff. Like he cuts away from him and Vanessa kissing to be like, and just starts staring at Fred Savage. He's like,
I just don't believe that she'd be kissing you. She's gorgeous, and you look like, what did he say? It's like you
An
look like
avocado or something.
something that fucked lava. Oh, it was Rocky Dennis. If he had a baby with lava, and he's like, we have somebody who says those things to me. You're taking his job.
Hey, John, do you remember when we talked about Extreme movie?
Yeah.
I think a Matthew Lillard amount of times like that they could have done something more like that with this movie, and I think it would have worked a lot better. I think
Probably.
where they kind of just interjected it in between
Just
specific scenes.
I think like either every 5 or every 10 minutes, I think would be best. To me, I think for amount or how often they put these cutaways in.
I think 15 minutes because at an hour and a half, and you factor in maybe 3 minutes apiece, that's roughly that's 4 an hour. That gives the movie enough time to have about 6 of them. So I think that'd be good.
I have never heard of Extreme Movie, and now I'm
It,
looking at all the people
it
that are in it.
is
It is
And what it
hilarious
is.
and awful and hilarious.
It looks to me like it was a movie on the list of things
Movie
that came
movies?
because of Scary Movie.
Yes,
Yep.
like movie
But
movies.
I've never even fucking heard of this one. I've heard
this
of epic movie,
basically
superhero movie, disaster
basically
movie.
this is a parody of raunchy comedies
Yeah,
and
it's
sex
like
comedies.
puberty and stuff like that.
It's so bizarre to me when people parody comedies like that. There's one about like, I think there's one that parodies 40-Year-Old Virgin and another one that parodies The Hangover. And I'm like,
Yes.
what are you doing? You know, these are comedies, right? Why are you parodying them? It's so strange. But of course, there is a corner. There's a market for everything.
Surely you can't be serious. Well, I am serious, and don't call me
Don't call
Shirley.
me Shirley.
So there was one Hangover parody one where I actually kind of enjoyed it, like, because they mixed the Hangover with the Hunger Games.
The Hungover
That's
Games.
That's the one I was thinking of. That's the one I was
ridiculous as
thinking
hell.
of.
I just love it for that. Oh man,
The Hungover Games.
Yep. Hungover Games, and I'm sure it starred all of everyone's favorite people.
Except
Like
Anna Faris.
Ben-
Anna Faris finally moved on from those after a little while.
Oh God, yeah. No, I if she didn't, I was gonna find her and
Oh,
push her away from them myself. That Anna Faris did not need that in her life. But Tara Reid's in it, so that's good.
That's not surprising. She was in the first 2 Sharknadoes.
That's the one I was thinking of. The 41-year-old virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall. The idea of parodying all of those Judd Apatow movies, it's like, okay, if you didn't enjoy the originals, then maybe you should just watch law dramas. So don't watch comedies if you didn't like it. Bizarre.
Oh man. Oh. One thing I noticed this time while watching, and this is sign this regular Deadpool, not sign like the particularly to this cut, but they parody the MCU's WHIH news company with within this it's WHIT which I which is which also that just gives the excuse to shout out our friend Whitney Whitney since because of Wit.
Yeah,
since she uses the name Wit on Discord.
Scarlet Wit. That way.
Yes.
I mean, they do a lot of MCU stuff. Like, I find it hilarious. Like, he straight up in both versions of the movie, he without my superpowers, you give me a bow and arrow, and I'm basically Hawkeye. Like, or what's this guy with the Winter Soldier arm doing coming after me for? Can it Thanos? I'm Batman.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I also really love the point where Fred Savage is crying by the end of the movie.
Are you crying?
You got some emotion juice coming out of your eye holes. And then he's like, I think it's this dusty soundstage. I mean, bedroom. It's this dusty bedroom. It's like at that point, at the very least, he's on the same page of faking it with him, which I enjoyed.
Fake it till you make it, Fred Savage.
That's right.
Oh man.
And then he talks about why he's like, I'm caught off guard that I'm crying because this movie's such garbage.
Oh man. Yeah. At the very end, and as he cuts him free, he's like, "How long have I been here?" The devil's like, "Oh, you've been asleep for 3 days."
Wait, what? Like that. That's
I
awesome.
didn't get my clothes on.
It's exactly what Colossus says.
And his Deadpool's only a reason for why he took Fred Savage's pants off is because bears don't wear pants. Like, what?
What a crazy person.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I think with the in general, if they, you know what, if they're gonna make 2 versions of every MCU version of a Deadpool movie going forward, or Deadpool interruption going forward, just to raise money for cancer research, I'm all on board. They just keep making those 2 versions. Give me an R-rated version, and give me a PG-13, and raise money for cancer fighting.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I love that idea, and I think what they should do is each time create a different framing device for the
Yes.
film. One that I would love to see is Deadpool and his friends playing D&D. Yeah, table.
Oh my God,
the
yes.
story of the
That'd be
film.
dope.
I think that would be really funny.
You
And
get
I
Peter, and you get Dopinder.
No.
Hell yeah.
You do one better than that.
Oh,
It's so you're gonna have the entire game being played with Deadpool being the only person who you see, and then at the end of the movie, it's revealed to be all the original, like not the original, but the second wave of X-Men.
the ones that close the doors.
Yeah. It's got like Evan Peters as Quicksilver, Nick Hoult as
man.
Beast, not Fassbender, but McAvoy's there as Charles Xavier. Like just that group of the X-Men are just sitting there, like the obvious like ones that would be playing D&D.
Yeah. I like that.
Oh
yeah. Hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would like that framing device as well. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And yeah, there's probably a bunch of other framing devices they could come up with that would be great for I just love the idea of instead of just making it be a PG-13 Deadpool, create some framing device to make it be different.
Well, if they include him in other movies, that'll work perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think if they were to keep his movies the R-rated, which are clearly the seller, like there's no question those are the moneymaker. But bring him into other movies and incorporate those fourth wall breaks that he was using in this version, but make it so like the tagline is every time that Deadpool swears he's going to bleep it, but also $1 per ticket's going to be donated for whatever. The billions and billions for the 2 bleeps per movie. Like
True.
Yeah, something that I would love for them to do in Deadpool and Wolverine, they probably won't, but I think it would be really funny is have that at the very beginning, they start censoring Deadpool, and then Deadpool getting really angry about that, and going to Disney's headquarters and be like, hey, if you don't stop censoring me, I'm gonna kill you all.
You've seen Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. I'll do that shit.
I would love to see him get mad about. I don't know if it like if we're gonna get an R-rated Deadpool.
Yeah.
Well, we are getting an R-rated Deadpool and Wolverine. Him being in his first one after that, where they clearly have to mix the rating and make it a little bit less R. I would love to see him get pissed off about it. That's amazing. That's a great idea.
Feige said no cocaine.
I can't
Hey,
I can't even fathom. Like I feel like the MCU is like, it feels like it's on hold until they figure out how Deadpool and Wolverine does, and then they're gonna get things back into gear.
This movie is gonna be the fucking movie of the summer.
It's gonna do well, no question. You're right. I feel like they need to wait. I feel like they seem like they're waiting before they announce any, at least distant future projects. To see what the hell people love about it so much, just so they get a gauge of how to do the next things.
Maybe, but also I think they just like to do their announcements at big events, and so I think they're waiting to announce things till Comic-Con, which is actually happening like around the same week as the Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out.
So I think with that,
is it planned?
This is my thought. The next big announcement is going to be the credit scene for Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh, what do you think it's going to be?
The X-Men.
I hope so, because I honestly, strike while the iron's hot. Make it about X-Men. Make it all about X-Men, because X-Men 97 sent fans into a tizzy. People need to be hearing about what the hell they're going to do, because all otherwise we have to look forward to is the fact that you put Wolverine, who's no longer going to be played by Hugh Jackman, in the yellow suit, and you showed us Beast like a year ago.
I think what would be great is since like as you said with Beast, they showed him in the Marvel's post-credit scene, and it was the actor from the 2000s, but with a different look.
The 97
more of a more like the 90s X-Men 97 show. I think it would be great to have that the post-credit scene for Deadpool and Wolverine be from that universe, and have it be all the same actors from the 2000s, but they're in the looks for 1997.
I think Cal Dodd, though. I think we should get Cal Dodd as a live action Wolverine for that.
If we honestly, I don't know how the hell they're going to successfully pass the torch, but I do want them to pass it. That's probably we've had 3 Spider-Man since 2000.
I think what's going to happen with that. I think what's going to happen with Wolverine is it's going to be Hugh Jackman until Secret Wars, and then after Secret Wars, they'll have the new actor.
Yeah, Secret Wars is definitely. I said this, I think, last time. I think Secret Wars is going to have, because RDJ won his Oscar. He said that if he won his Oscar, and I think he even came out and said it recently. It's embedded in his DNA. There is all kinds of signs pointed to RDJ's back with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and Tom Holland as Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. That combination of characters, I'm going to call it now. It is June 20th, 2024. Secret Wars is 2026, if I'm not mistaken. Put it on the record. Those 3 will be in Secret Wars.
All right. John says those 3.
Keith, this is recording.
Oh yeah. Sorry. In Secret Wars. I'm excited for that idea. I also want. Okay, if Hugh Jackman's going to be back for Secret Wars, which is fine, honestly, I want whatever the hell they show us with them jumping through all sorts of variations of characters. Whatever they show us that could be Wolverine, give us a really cool fucking version of him that we can all be on board with, that even Hugh Jackman can be there to sign off on. And you can see him be like, you know what? You're a good Logan. I don't know what he would say. But the point is he would be, we would get his blessing. And then it'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Well, he'll be our Logan going forward. But yeah, show up for Secret Wars. That'd be cool. Toby will be there. Tony will be there. I'm just calling RDJ Tony at this point. But yeah, he got his Oscar, so he's back to being called Tony in my mind.
Yeah.
You mean you're not gonna call him Dr. Doolittle?
Or Sherlock?
Maybe Sherlock. Man, I still gotta see. You know what I want to see is RDJ's the show that he's in on HBO Max. Fuck, what is it called? It's about,
I think.
The Sympathizer. Okay, that shit looks awesome. And I think that if anything, that's what's getting him more clout right now than Oppenheimer because of him being in so much of it and being able to show off his character actor chops instead of just being the same guy. He did well in Oppenheimer, don't get me wrong. I feel like Oppenheimer was a little bit overrated.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
There you go. So it's like
No,
people are like, oh, Nolan. Yes, Christopher Nolan does amazing work. We know that. But personally, I think a lot of Christopher Nolan's best work has already come out. Maybe
Batman.
even a decade ago. Honestly, one of my favorite things he's ever done is Interstellar, and that was still a shit ton of years ago. So, yeah, I wasn't super thrilled by Oppenheimer.
Haven't seen it. Haven't seen Barbie. I haven't seen any of those.
Well, he didn't make Barbie.
No, but the time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Don't see Tenet.
Tenet,
don't
really?
see that one. Tenet
Why?
is
that bad?
fucking. It is complicated for the sake of complication. It is not clever. It's upsettingly silly, in my opinion.
Inception was fucking gold standard.
Not for me, but
you can be wrong.
That's not true, John. No, you're right. I can be wrong. I just think Inception's good, but they spend a ton of time explaining what's happening and not a whole lot of just showing you what's happening.
Well, it is a little bit confusing for the untrained brain.
Well, I'm not saying I'm some kind of like upper echelon brain person, but I'll tell you that watching it a second time, I'm sitting there going, I know, streams.
Second time, sure. The second
First time, I'm going, can you please explain that again? I'm gonna rewind. They wouldn't let me rewind in the theater. Would you believe that?
Assholes.
Bastards.
One thing in any version of Deadpool 2 that I love so much is Deadpool and Yukio's relationship. How it's so cutesy.
Yeah. You said hi to me earlier. I just want to say hi to you again, Yukio. Hi. That's really nice. Hi, Wade. Yeah, I like her a lot too. Yeah,
Yukio's great.
I'm glad that she's coming back.
Yes, and Negasonic.
Yeah.
Adult Warhead.
Yeah.
More sour than ever. Yikes.
One thing that does kind of sadden me that it's not coming back for Deadpool and Wolverine is both Cable and Domino. Neither of them are going to be in the film, which I feel like is a weird choice.
I think there's reasons for Cable. I don't know about Domino. I feel like the complications would arise with Brolin. I suspect Thanos comes back later, and his I suspect we'll see him again. Another Secret Wars situation, I think. If you don't know the premise of Secret Wars, and for those of you who are listening and you might not know, Secret Wars is essentially a group of heroes from all varying backgrounds versus a group of villains from all varying backgrounds. And amongst them in the comics is people like Galactus and Multiple Man and Magneto and Doctor Doom, Ultron. There's so many villains that we haven't seen yet that have potential to show up in Secret Wars. And same thing with the characters of the heroes. There's just no way they're going to ignore some of those characters. They can't. So we will. We'll definitely see these people again.
Yeah, I think we'll see a Thanos again, possibly, but I think that it's still like I don't think it's a problem for him to be playing multiple characters. So I don't see that as a complication for him coming back as Cable. If anything, I would have loved for there to be in Deadpool and Wolverine both Cable and a cameo from a version of Thanos, just so they can joke about the love triangle between Thanos, Deadpool, and Death in the comics.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be dope. I got a fan casting for if they're going to which I want them to recast Cable because I want to see Cable in the future of the MCU.
Or the past.
There's that's true. There's two roles that I think this actor could play. He could do a really good version of Sabretooth, or they could find somebody who could do better, or he could do a really good Cable. And
they already cast Lee Schreiber.
No. Alan Richson from
Oh,
Reacher.
yeah, that's a big dude.
That dude would be sick
could
as
be a good-
either character. I think he would do both
Yeah.
incredibly well. But I would want it to be a
I would
Sabretooth that
say-
talks. I want like a Sabretooth that taunts his prey.
I think I would like him better as Sabretooth just because he's not an old man and Cable is kind of supposed to be old.
Well, I mean, he's 41 and Cable's supposed to be just from the future. If you went through the shit Cable's gone through, you'd have white hair too, but he could be a young dude. Steve Martin had white hair at the age of 7.
Hey, we can have
Steve
Steve Martin as Cable.
Oh,
Steve Martin,
don't.
yeah. 79-year-old Steve Martin. Hell yeah.
Hey, listen, Samuel Jackson's like 75. Don't even start.
Well, his hair's not white.
Hey,
His hair's not anything.
Hey, if they're willing to put an actor who's like 109 in She-Hulk, then 79 is nothing.
That's true. Harrison Ford is about to be the Red Hulk.
No, literally in She-Hulk, the actor who played Donnie Blaze's assistant and the black guy, he's like 109 years old. He's one of the oldest living actors alive.
Oh
Damn.
my god, Johnny Blaze! I just rewatched She-Hulk. I was showing my mom the whole series, and that episode makes me laugh harder and harder every time I see it. Donnie
Makes
Blaze
me so
where
upset.
She's you're not a fan.
I'm a Ghost Rider fan, man. That
Yeah,
shit hurts my feelings.
well, that's not Johnny Blaze.
I know,
it's
but
Donnie Blaze, man.
it's
It's his cousin or some shit. I
It's
think.
fucking so sad. I just want a
Ghost-
good Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider's coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, a little bit Ghost
They
Rider
just need to
stuff,
make a
but-
little bit of money back with some Deadpool and Wolverine, and then we'll get back to the characters that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, that
I'm still
reminds
waiting for
me-
Kit Harington to get the fucking Black Knight call because that pissed me off. That he's
Yeah,
been like,
oh,
I'm still not sure. I might be paying them. I don't know.
you bringing up Ghost Rider reminds me of so have either of you seen how there's now on Twitter community notes on things? It's just it's for when things where posts are just absolutely wrong and trying to lie to people. And people find it absolutely hilarious whenever a community post, a community note appears on a post. There was a big page that it's announced Ryan Gosling has been cast as Ghost Rider, and then within hours, there's a community note came up saying, "No, that's absolutely not the case."
Yeah. I gotta like I post a lot of things for the Avengers podcast now, and when I switch over to that Instagram, I see a ton of stuff in their feed that has been liked or liked back or whatever, and it's a bunch of news that I'm like, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Like, it's a ton of shit like that, the MCU news, and yeah, it's pretty regular. Yeah, like I just heard that that Mahershala Ali is not going to be playing Blade. I have no clue if that's confirmed yet. I'll be really heartbroken if he's not playing Blade.
It's definitely not. Not as there was literally the Hollywood Reporter put out an article about Blade today.
Good. Yes, that's what I had heard. Is that something about Ali Goth, or no, not Mia Goth?
Mia Goth will be in the film. But she's not playing a female version of Blade. She's gonna be
playing Lilith.
Lilith. Yeah, She's gonna be the main villain of the film, I believe.
Sick.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That. Yeah, I really would be so mad if Mahershala was not playing Blade anymore after all of the just getting us hyped up about that, and Delroy Lindo and all these other people who are going to be in it. Like, I hope that shit continues.
That the directors keep getting replaced. I was saying, I think the directors keep getting replaced because none of them want to make what Marvel wants to make.
Yeah, that's a scary thought, right? It's like
I think they all want Wesley Snipes' Blade.
I mean, we all want Wesley Snipes, but
no. I don't think they want Wesley Snipes, but I think they want that version of Blade, and I don't think that Marvel's trying to do it. I think that's my
Ah.
suspicion behind that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
it makes sense. I mean, we were just talking about the way that the first X-Men got greenlit was it barely happened. It was 15 years in the making, and then Batman and Robin came out, ruined everything almost because of the reception that got, and then Blade came out. And the first Blade movie got such a good reception that they went, okay, let's make X-Men, and they just had to be in black leather. But beyond that, let's make X-Men.
They had to be into BDSM.
Exactly.
I was
B
listening to the
stands for
2000
Blade.
listen today, and of the X-Men 2000 episode, and they all have to be dressed in black leather.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
Sorry, head to toe, you got to be wearing black leather. I hope that's all right.
Yellow spandex. I think not.
It's just like the SpongeBob movie from 2016. If you're gonna have a SpongeBob movie, you're gonna have to make them be into BDSM.
Exactly like that.
which are actually
ready.
like a lot of scenes from that film where they're in the in outfits that look like BDSM stuff.
Womp. Yeah. Oh man, I've learned more about SpongeBob purely because my wife is a huge fan, but she's at the same time she's like, can we watch an episode of SpongeBob tonight? I'll be like, yeah,
As
sure.
she should be.
And she'll pick an episode from the first 2 seasons and that's it. That's where it ends for her. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, they've been on forever. And she's like, yeah, but it's weird now. I was like, okay, all right.
Wait, it's weird now?
That's what I said.
After like 30 years of the show, it's bound to get weird.
I mean, they had a whole
guess
episode devoted to swearing, and it was fucking gold.
I think if anything, I need to prove to her that we can watch an episode past what she watched as a kid and still enjoy it. So
trick her into
I'll
it.
be like, yeah, this is from season 2. You never saw this one. She's like, I've seen every one of them.
Why don't you go on to IMDb and look for the at the highest rated episodes and find one that's past season 2 and then make her watch that.
Pull the Johnny Depp episode.
Oh, I don't know if we can watch a Johnny Depp episode, not after what happened with him and Amber Heard. You guys heard about this?
But what happened now? You
No,
broke up
the whole trial, the whole thing.
Oh yeah, that disaster. No, I think the Johnny Depp episode of SpongeBob was great.
Johnny Depp episode. All right, I'm looking it up. Is that what it's called? The Johnny Depp episode?
No, but that's a real missed opportunity.
The fact that you just did that, holy shit, man, you're a genius. Of SpongeBob. Okay, I'm writing that down. And also, John said that Tobey Maguire and Johnny Depp are going to be in Secret Wars.
Listen, if Johnny Depp isn't in Secret Wars, it's not my fault. I never fucking said that. Never said that once. If he is in Secret Wars, it better be as Jack Sparrow.
Why are all the secrets gone?
Or Edward Scissorhands.
I thought there was Sugar Bobs. God, that's a good movie. I fucking love that movie so much. When he's drinking, he tells him it's iced tea, and then he gives him like whiskey. And he's just like,
he will be. He'll also be appearing as Sweeney Todd, just so he can sing in the film.
Yes, yes. God, this has gotten so off the rails.
And he'll also be Willy Wonka. And make jokes about the Glasgow experience.
No, he can be the doctor from Transcendence, where he becomes an all-knowing AI.
I am very much against bringing back actors who've passed away in a CGI form, but I would rather Gene Wilder brought back than Johnny Depp ever be let near that goddamn character or property ever again.
I don't disagree with that argument. I didn't dislike Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka. It was a unique take, but Gene Wilder is Willy Wonka with Chalamet doing an okay secondary.
Now, something that I related to the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka film that actually is really funny. I highly recommend you guys checking it out. There is a short on or that was made by the Jimmy Kimmel live show where they brought back the actor who played a Charlie in that to do a sequel
Charlie Buckets?
to do a sequel 20 years later, and it is him basically just the entire time is making jokes about that Glasgow AI Willy Wonka experience.
Oh, good.
It's absolutely hilarious.
That's
Now
awesome.
now Charlie is Grandpa Charlie or Grandpa Joe, whatever Grandpa.
Basically, he lures some children to the chocolate factory and tells them it's this amazing thing, and then it ends up being just a very very rundown place. And he just tells them that that the company hasn't been doing well, and he's decided he's just gonna put the company onto them, these children.
Here,
Because
it's
remember,
yours now. Have
at
it.
the end of the film, he's now the person who owns the factory.
Yeah, seriously. And that's how it should have ended. They should have just kept remastering that first film, damn it. You stole fizzy lifting drink.
You lose. Good day, sir.
So good. It's so good.
Oh man,
I'm a huge Gene Wilder fan.
Etc. Etc. As
Well, you
noticed,
know, Blazing
as,
Saddles.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
as
God.
noted by Blazing Saddles episode of Mad
Oh,
Trivia,
yeah.
where
He's
I made Keith culturally appropriate too many different nationalities.
Oh, God, I'm never going to be president. Oh, no. Oh, wait, the bar's lower? Cool.
you know, get back to Deadpool. I think I agree with Deadpool and not Colossus that he was right to kill those guys and send them to the prison.
100%.
Yeah, like
100%. And you don't get to see the pedophiles get shot in the brains in
Nope.
this movie.
Or their
It's all
brains
cut
explode out.
behind. It's interesting. And
So
like
sad.
even just him shooting through the script for Green Lantern was an interesting edit. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I couldn't believe that was the standard for an R rating. Was like, okay, brain shots bad, but he kind of still gets ripped in half. They kind of make a bunch of cum jokes.
I mean,
I was just
they
shocked.
even
It would be a study. This would be a good movie for a study of what a PG-13 means.
the only blood that you really see is when Vanessa has been shot, and it's like a small, tiny spot of blood on her shirt.
Yeah,
which is
it's enough for a
honestly
murder-suicide, which they don't cut.
which is it's
amazing.
honestly kind of surprising because you can have a lot of blood in a PG-13 film. Like I've seen some pretty bloody PG-13 films.
It
I mean,
just
he did
can't be
emphasize it's a
from-
family film, so
That's yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's a family. And man, I can't fucking wait for Deadpool and Wolverine. The spin that they're gonna put on it, as far as the first one being a romance, the second one being a family film. Like it's just
in this movie, F word stands for friend.
Oh man.
Can't wait. I cannot wait. Damn.
Oh, well, I really hope that in Deadpool Wolverine they play up the bromance a lot in the film between them, like and make it very clear to the audience, especially those who haven't read the comics, that he isn't straight, that he's a pan, and make it very clear how he's attracted to Logan. I think would be a absolutely great. I worry that we won't have stuff like that just because it was announced that the film will actually show in China, which I'm pretty sure China is one of the people who complain about out LGBTQ stuff in
They can
films.
change the ADR to say
Yeah.
different things. I think
Yeah, they'll
that's what'll
probably, with
happen.
all the masks involved, I'm sure Deadpool says entirely different things in the Chinese version.
I mean,
Whether it
they
be
I'm sure
Cantonese
it's
or
not.
Mandarin.
I'm sure it's not Ryan Reynolds saying it anyway. So
Someone doing a really good Ryan Reynolds impression in Mandarin. Yeah,
I'm not
that
gonna
guy.
pretend like I can do that impression.
I ain't gonna even try. I'll be honest. I agree.
Next time,
But
on
no,
Mad
you're
Trivia.
right. Yeah. Give me my ask me my favorite kung fu films, and I'll come with all sorts of practiced Mandarin vernacular. Let's do it. But no, the I hope that they have a different version for China, because like you said, I would love to see that too. I think that Disney likes to skirt around the idea that gay people exist. I was a huge fan of the fact that in the Eternals they normalized the shit out of that kiss between just two people raising a kid in America, because guess what? That's very common.
Yep. And Yukio and Negatonic are still together, so that's good.
That is good. Yeah.
Fingers
crossed, man.
I have small hopes that so one of the trailers had Wolverine, I believe, uppercutting the underside of Deadpool with his claws out. And I hope, for the sake of that exact conversation, that the three claws is actually only one. And Deadpool says something, wait, how did you know? Or something like that.
There is a scene in one of the trailers where he's like, where Wolverine is on top of him, and Deadpool's like, what are you doing? And he's like, it's not what you think. I'm taking this blade out of you. Something like that, if I remember right. Yeah.
I'm stoked at the stuff we haven't seen. I haven't seen any trailers since that second one, so I don't know the details, and I really hope I don't stumble across them in all social media. But yeah, I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
So you've seen the Ant-Man thing then?
I think so.
The head that
the idea where Paul Rudd actually does age or whatever.
Yes, that
joke is good.
That is the funniest fucking thing in the entirety of all of the trailers for me. Like, look, Paul Rudd finally aged.
Yeah, I think that is really funny about with this, and it's not specific actually to like some joke in the film, but Ryan Reynolds said the other day that he thinks that Logan is the greatest comic book adaptation that there's ever been. I think that Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be a better adaptation of Old Man Logan than Logan was, because of the fact that it has stuff like the giant dead Ant-Man, and which is something from Old Man Logan.
It's certainly going to cover the bases of things that they didn't do from the comic books.
Like it's sure. I think it's kind of hilarious to think how he said that is the greatest adaptation of a comic, but in reality, this is probably going to be a lot more accurate to that comic.
Well, he did say that before this movie came out, so
that's. I want nothing more for them to play on and make fun of and poke fun of the way that Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds can do that. I want them to play with the stuff that's in the comics rather than shy away from them for worrying that it's not going to translate well to film. It's like just there's a big playground if you just grab that source material by the balls and
just allow all the insanity from the comics to be brought into live action. And like studios seem to have such a like they're scared that people won't accept it, but I'm like, yeah, people will absolutely accept it, and they will really appreciate it. Just like anybody who's a fan of She-Hulk appreciates the fact that that they made the finale be something right out of She-Hulk comics, because like her breaking out of her own show is it's just like her breaking out of comic panels in the comics, and I think that stuff like that is amazing. I hope that I want to see them do more. Something I was thinking about for after Secret Wars of where I would want the Avengers franchise to go. I'm like probably after Secret Wars, or is the Avengers will probably take a back seat to the X-Men and have. I'm thinking the X-Men will probably be the main thing, but I don't want the Avengers to then just stop being a franchise while it happens. I think they should take that time of them not being the focus to make some very comic booky Avengers films. So like do an adaptation of what a comic run that's actually currently going in the comics, which is Blood Hunt, where it's literally the superheroes fighting vampires. I think
That'd be dope.
I think a Avengers versus Vampire film would be great.
What better way to bring Blade into the fold?
Yeah,
Like have him show them how to fight vampires. Blade's
Amen.
been an Avenger too.
Amen.
Or have or another idea that I have is since I love the idea of holiday themed superhero films, one of the most the strongest mutants it's in Marvel is an evil Santa Claus. So I think they could have a Avengers film where they fight Santa Claus.
Christmas holiday special.
You're naming like what if episodes, right?
No,
like,
no, that's not.
No, I want them to have a 2-hour film of the Avengers fighting Santa Claus. Like I want them to embrace the absolute wackiness of comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I will only accept that movie if Kevin Bacon wins.
Can they bring back Kevin Bacon? And he's like, I'm an actor.
No, he just has to sing "Here It Is Christmas Time" to the fucking Santa Claus, and that's how the fight ends.
He brings in the warmth of the holidays with his music. That would be dope.
I feel like what would more
Kevin
likely
Bacon in the old 97.
I feel like what would more likely happen is he starts doing that and then since the Santa Claus is evil, he would stab Kevin Bacon with a candy cane and say, "I hate Christmas songs."
And Kevin Bacon would be like, "Oh, I thought you were Santa, not Krampus."
I think when you were talking about the accuracies of, like, I hope that they play more on the accuracies of the comics and stuff. I think that's what we're dealing with now is we're in a time where that shit is praised when they do that. And I'm in watching the old X-Men movies recently for the Avengers stuff that we're planning, toward Deadpool and Wolverine. We've been watching the old movies, and it is crazy the amount of liberties that they take with the source material. Mm-hmm. And I get it. It was at a time when they were shaky. They were not confident that everything would adapt to film, but we've had way more than we've ever had since then. And it's like, okay, if you just grab one of the best acclaimed comic books, figure out how that should be adapted to film, and don't try to bring in 6 others and kind of rope them together and lasso them and tight and make them work, force them together. Just trust the writers that wrote some of people's favorite versions of these characters and do it that way. And I don't get why they don't.
And maybe not do the Phoenix Saga multiple times.
Oh my God, I don't need any more Phoenix Saga. My favorite thing about X-Men 97 was that she was strong as shit. She didn't have to be the Phoenix the whole time. And it was the most Jean Grey we've ever had without that being the case. I love that in like a 10 episode arc. That's it.
I think make things accurate to the comics and just allow them to allow everything to just embrace that wackiness even the more serious stuff. You can there are ways to make it serious stuff while still embracing the wackiness. Like the TV show Legion is one of the most serious comic book things I've seen, and it absolutely embraces the wackiness of comics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
100%.
That show is not talked about enough.
100%.
I don't get why studios think they shouldn't embrace that wackiness.
Speaking of wackiness and Dan Stevens, have you ever seen the interview with Dan Stevens in the British? It might have been BBC or something, but whatever. There was a lady anchor, and she was talking about Dan Stevens having to beat people off, and they were laughing, him and the other male anchor, and she was like, she had no idea why they were laughing so hard at her, because she just meant like beating people off of him to get them away from him.
Yeah, they want autographs, they want to hang out.
Yeah,
and he's like, you had to beat people off, right? And he's like, I'm sorry.
People will not leave you alone until you jerk them off.
Yeah, that's exactly what was meant.
That's awesome. It's like some kind of like Good Morning Britain kind of thing, right? Yeah. Those beat off jokes need to happen in the morning to get us ready for the day.
Beat the day off.
God.
Together.
Yeah, I trying to think. Is there anything else we should talk about Deadpool 2? One thing that I think is definitely clear from this film, and I hope they continue it, at least in the beginning of Deadpool and Wolverine, since I don't know if this character will be in like the whole thing, but Deadpool definitely has a crush on Colossus. And I want to see more of those jokes. And I kind of feel like as Deadpool 2 goes on, Colossus kind of reciprocates it. Right?
He was heartbroken. You broke my heart, Wade. And then In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel playing when he shows up is like, I 100% agree with that. Yeah, he loves Colossus.
Hey, if he's not with Vanessa anymore, he can be with Colossus. Since
Vanessa's alive.
Since Vanessa's, he's not gonna be with Vanessa anymore in Deadpool and Wolverine.
True. She calls him pal that one time. And then we're all kind of assuming that they're not dating. It's been, was it confirmed today or something? I saw something. It was actually 6 years.
It's been 6 years and she now has a new boyfriend. Which I feel like it has to be some big celebrity cameo.
It's gonna be Matt Damon. He's gonna be that hillbilly from Deadpool 2. Like, I'll get you the best wet wipes. Don't worry, Vanessa. It's gonna be the main course.
It is the Vanisher. That's what it's gonna be.
Man, and he's there for her all the time. It's like, whoa, your name is very confusing. That would be dope. I think they should capitalize on that joke.
Always watching, Vanessa.
I'm always there for you, Vanessa. But it's like Brad Pitt's voice, so he's like, "Yeah, I'm there for you."
Speaking of Brad Pitt, did either of you see the new film that came out last month on If?
Yes, it's fucking fantastic.
Is it really good? Okay.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun.
Inside Out too.
Yeah. But they
fucking review bombing that Inside Out 2 has gotten. I think me and Emmy are watching that for summer break episodes. I'm making her watch Mad Max Furiosa, and she's making me watch Inside Out 2.
So you'll be let down by one of them.
No!
At the end of If, they reference the joke with Brad Pitt from Deadpool 2, as one of the ifs in the imaginary friends in If is invisible, and at the end of the film in the credits it says, and introducing Brad Pitt as Kevin.
Kevin. Who makes an imaginary friend that's invisible?
So I just thought that would be a fun thing if I mentioned it here. Now, which do you guys like better, Deadpool 1 or Deadpool 2?
1.
I like 1 better, but I like the ambition of Deadpool 2.
I think I'm like I'm 50-50, and I don't know which one I like better. Or on one hand, as I said last time, that I don't really like the back and forth or flashbacks thing with it that they did with Deadpool 1, but I think I like the story of Deadpool 1 more than I like the story of Deadpool 2.
It's more clean. It's more, there's less going on that it can actually shine. I think it's more clean cut. My wife likes Deadpool 2 better. I think the humor she liked a lot more in the sequel. I'm talking the R-rated version. We watched both of them in succession in the same night, and she was like, and she's not a big Marvel fan. She's not a fan at all. She can't stand most of the shit.
That's a rough conversation to have once a week.
Yeah. Once, at least 25 times a month, probably we argue about Marvel stuff. No, she's the reason I venture outside of Marvel once in a while, and I respect that.
Oh,
yeah. No, but we watched those two in one night, and we got high as balls, and we watched both Deadpool movies together, and she liked the second one more. She just more jokes. There was better jokes for her, anyways. I personally think that the first movie is cleaner. It's a little bit more concise. It clearly had a bit more love put into it, and I think the second one was more like, okay, we got to make a sequel. Let's make sure it's good. And they did the best they could, but obviously everything that a sequel demands is like more characters, more shit going on. It's like that can become less in a way.
Makes sense.
I have but one question coming out of this movie. Papa, can you hear me?
I do want to build a snowman. It's crazy, John, that you suggested that.
I kind of wonder if because of this film, there's been any like, because with a lot of songs
Like
on set,
lawsuits?
no, not lawsuits, but like there are a lot of there are a lot of different people who they will actually like do tests to see if something was copying another, and I kind of wonder if because of the jokes in this film, if there were any people who were like, I'm gonna actually do the test to see if you want to build a snowman was a copy of that.
I think that Disney owns both songs, so I don't think it matters.
Well, the time I'm at least when the original version of Deadpool 2 came out, I don't know if they did it. Or actually no, I don't know.
Frozen had been out already, and
I'm mistaken. I'm thinking of the Fox and Fox being bought by Disney, not Yentl. So I don't know
When was
anything
Yentl
about
bought by Disney?
I don't know anything about Yentl.
I don't know. I don't even know if it's actually owned by Disney. It would be kind of ironic if you asked me.
We don't have any big Yentl stands going on in this.
I've never even seen in Yentl. The only thing that this is the only thing I know of Yentl. The only reason I know of Yentl.
The only reason I knew what Yentl was before going into this movie the first time was a great Kevin Kline comedy from the 90s called In and Out, where he is a man in a small town in America where being gay is very not okay, and he is struggling with the idea and finding out that he is, and all of his friends have accepted everything about him before this question even came up, and he's like 2 weeks away from his wedding to a woman that he is assumedly loves, but they all know he's a big Barbra Streisand fan, so they bring up Yentl a lot in this movie, and it's fucking hilarious. But like his friends like challenge him, they're like, Barbra Streisand was too old for Yentl, and he's like, and they have this big fight, and it's like, okay, what is this? What's going on? Why don't I know more about Barbra Streisand? And I'm like a fucking 10-year-old kid in the 90s going like, okay, what is Yentl now? And then it gets brought up in Deadpool 2, and I'm so glad that movies like In and Out exist.
See,
Check that movie out.
I heard that song first because of Austin Powers 3, and yeah.
Oh yeah, doesn't he like? Isn't it like
Faja,
in the
Faja,
throes of,
Faja, Faja,
like,
Faja, Faja, can you hear me?
that's
Faja,
like when
Faja,
he's
Faja.
shot, like Goldmember
Not
was
remember
dying
that
in that
either.
moment.
No, he was
wasn't
getting electrocuted or something like that.
Ah, yes. Faja, can you hear me? I remember that now. Nice. There you go. 3 different people. We all know about Yentl in different ways, and none of it is from ever being a fan of the movie Yentl.
I was today years old when I found out it was from a movie called Yentl, so
And you still want to build a snowman.
Okay, did you find out because of me saying Yentl?
Yep.
I
You brought
only
it
know
up in the movie.
because of it being said in the movie the name Yentl.
Wasn't paying attention to that part apparently.
Oh man. Since once it's not in this or in the original version of the film that I think would be that I think is if I mentioned since at least Keith, you said you don't think you've seen the Super Duper cut. There are extra like different places that he time travels to at the end in that including one of them is him actually going to go kill baby Hitler. And him deciding that he can't do it, and that he will go get Cable because Cable has no problem killing kids.
Yeah.
Damn, maybe I did see it then, because I felt when watching it this time, like, is the time travel montage at the end of Once Upon a Deadpool shorter than the one from the R-rated version?
Yes.
Because
I think
okay,
so.
then because I already felt that it was shorter, and I was like, what parts am I missing?
He killed
But
when he killed his alternate
They
version.
also
Like I
yeah,
think he only shot him once.
because yeah, I know that there was no
also
headshot on screen in this version. I was like, okay, that I remembered very very
also
distinctly.
when he kills his alternate version and um though there's not really much dialogue in the original or in this one, but in the super duper cut he actually sticks around for a bit and says, as Logan, one day I'm going to ask you to put the claws back on, say yes, as
Ah,
I do that. And I think actually for that Hugh Jackman and recorded a like few seconds of new stuff of him just be like, huh, what?
that's what I was looking for too. Was like any reshoot, because I just watched Origins Wolverine, and
So
I was like
sorry.
trying to figure out with it. I know, man, I'm learning more and more that shit should not have been made. But
Oh man.
I was like, I'm gonna pretend it doesn't exist from now
Yes.
on. I think it was really upsetting. But yeah,
Non-canon.
They
non-canon.
need
Boom,
like
eject into space.
I really wish that they would make like a meta joke about the about X-Men Origins and about the fact that a unfinished version of it leaked online months before the film came out. I want them to make some kind of joke about that.
They probably won't.
Probably not. But then again, Ryan Reynolds has been making jokes for the past 10 years about the Deadpool leak,
I
or the
still think he was
original Deadpool
responsible
joke.
for it.
Yeah, yeah, he probably was. I really do okay. I really do think that the Deadpool that they should have some kind of reference to the Deadpool leak in Deadpool and Wolverine, because this will be because Deadpool and Wolverine will be the 10th anniversary of when that leak first happened.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that's or at least it won't be the exact day,
Pretty close.
July of 2014, at Comic Con, I think it was actually, or during the week that Comic Con was happening, was when the original leak happened. So I think and with the fact that he's been making these jokes and the leak anniversaries and trying to say that he's been searching for the whoever leaked it, I think that they should have a joke in Deadpool and Wolverine where he says that he has found out who did it.
Oh,
I think that that would be a good conclusion to that joke.
I think it's going to be him meeting himself.
I could see that. I could also see him deciding that it was Kevin Feige.
Oh, oh no. Okay, so for console combat, we have this thing called hacking the game, and that's where we kind of imagine scenarios of where the two characters would end up, and it makes perfect sense. This would be the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. They would start going around, and just like Jay and Silent Bob do when they're trying to find the people that talk shit about them on the internet, they're gonna they're gonna be hunting down the person that leaked the, the original
Oh,
Deadpool
that'd be
trailer.
great.
Oh yeah,
A nod to Kevin Smith.
that would be great.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Hey, I would have been happy if the entire film of Deadpool and Wolverine were instead of being a multiversal thing, it would be them hunting down the person who leaked it. That would have made
Yeah.
for a great third film.
Like a one shot, maybe like a 45-minute special would be good for that.
Yeah.
At first, when I
Oh man.
heard like this movie that Deadpool and Wolverine was going to be a multiverse kind of thing, I was scared that they weren't going to focus enough on closing a chapter with the Fox universe, and they were going to mess with too much stuff of the stuff we liked. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm so far past that worry that I just want them to make a good just don't make a messy movie. Like, I know they're trying to do as many cameos and as many like jump into moments. I'm okay with it. Jump into whatever moments you want.
I don't
Just
think that
make a good movie in the end.
Yeah, I don't think that there's actually gonna be some massive amount of cameos in it. I think, and the cameos that are in it, I think will be ones that are meant to service the story as I think for the most part, the cameos that are in it are going to be people who just happen to be a part of art of Cassandra Nova's team, basically her goons,
It
and
does
they're
seem that way.
and they aren't
I hope
gonna
they
be
get a
like
good
big
send off.
characters.
That's what I'd like.
Yeah,
I would prefer
sure.
that. Like, focus on Deadpool and Wolverine specifically, and then those that we get to see outside of that. I mean, sure, they're gonna have. It feels like they're probably gonna have, because of the success of the fun of the after credits scene of Deadpool 2, that they're gonna do a similar thing and just jump into all sorts of MCU moments, and that should be the way it goes. I hope that they focus on new things when it comes to the bulk of the movie instead of jumping into the moments we love. Yeah, I would as far as the X-Men characters that they seem to be featuring, like Deathstrike, Pyro, Toad, like I want to see those characters done well again. Like, it just Azazel's amazing, and the fact that hey, he's kind of got one cool scene. Everybody kind of gets one cool scene, and it's like, okay, well, let's give them one more cool scene before we move on to a bunch of other X-Men characters.
Yeah.
Trying to think, is there anything else you guys would like to talk about out for this episode?
I think I covered all my bases.
No.
Yeah, man.
All right. No,
good.
This is I love of Deadpool 2, and I love this version of Deadpool 2. It's I'm really glad we were able to do this. I can't wait for next month when we'll be pitching scenes aids for or Deadpool Wolverine of him messing with different universes. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. It's not confirmed, but I believe Bub and his co-host host from the Anyone's Comic Book podcast asked us. I believe they might be coming on join us as the judges for our scenes.
Nice.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
that's dope. Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm amping up. I'm getting ready.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Which yeah,
and by that point, I will legally have changed my name to John by that point, so they're gonna have a lot of trouble telling us all apart.
Which you guys are gonna need Ada in the next month on start thinking of funny scenes and ways that Deadpool can mess with them.
All right, deal.
Can I just really quickly point out the fun fact? Are either of you anime fans?
Huge.
I'm not.
Yes.
Not really.
Okay, I am not, but it's just hilarious that the three of us together are JJK.
I don't get it.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
Jujutsu Kaisen. For those of anime fans,
I gotta ask my wife about that. I am an anime fan because Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes, it's
right.
Yeah. JJK is the initials that people would recognize. It's a
Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Geiji Akutami. That's my best assumption of how that's pronounced, and I'm excited to learn more.
All
right, I won't change my name. You're telling me I shouldn't change my name to John because of Jujutsu Kaisen.
We'll stick with our anime aesthetic. Anime aesthetic.
You've saved me a lot of paperwork, so I appreciate it.
All right. Well, check out Mad Trivia John on the Konsole Kombat podcast, and Keith on the Avengers podcast. They're both all great shows. I bet you'll enjoy them if you like my podcast. All right. So, any final things either you'd like to say as I end this off?
I wish I'd told more cum jokes.
I mean, we are a bunch of C men, so.
Well played.
Oh man! All right.
I broke Keith and John. Thank you, thank you.
All right.
I will bow down and own my championship. Yes, that's right. This king will wear his crown.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
My neck hurts.
Thank you everyone for listening. If you like this Gambit analysis, please give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or a 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episodes. Please let me know. If you'd like to listen from more to me, if you'd like to listen to more from me, please subscribe. Many more Gambit analysis from me coming, so keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Smash Trivia John, signing off.